with TNA.
Hi, Prana Boosters. Today's topic is called Getting Out of Your Comfort Zone.
Love that title.
I feel like we could talk about so many things, but you're teaching me to focus. So today we're going to talk specifically about something Alan and I did just a few weeks ago that took us out of our comfort zone. We attended a business mentoring, industry event.
AKA BBD Live.
BBD Live. This is
James Wedmore.
Yes. BBD Live stands for Business by Design Live.
How cool is that? Custom business just for you, designed to propel you forward. I love that name.
Yeah, which is so cool because essentially we have designed our own custom lifestyle. So it would only make sense that we design our own custom business style, which we do. We always have our own business style. But the cool part about this event was it was a few months, this took place in January, a few months after we joined his online course, which was the first time we had ever done that. Because we were like, we are not doing that.
Right, we're like, we know everything.
No, and we definitely didn't
We can teach these things.
No, we did not say that. No.
We don't need any help.
No, all right. You're cuckoo. Listen. No, the truth is that Alan and I have been entrepreneurs since we met, since...
Pretty much 1999.
No, we were entrepreneurs back in college. 1999 is when we moved to California.
Oh, so 97.
Well, we met in 1994. Maybe I'll do the math. And
we didn't enter business on day one.
No, but do you remember we started our business of web design before we even moved to California?
Oh, good point. Okay.
So you're forgetting about that.
Well, if you want to count that.
Well, yes, that's important. So Alan and I always work together. We even work together at the country club. We mentioned that before. In college, I don't know if you remember, but when Papa Sam was really sick,
Papa Sam's your grandpa.
My grandpa. He had cancer, and the last thing on earth he wanted to do was be put in any place where there were old people, and he was like 84, 83. And he just never wanted to be like put in a place, but my parents had to find a place for him to have assisted living.
Let's say why. I mean, he was 84, but he was literally like a 20-year-old.
Yeah, he had a just amazing mindset.
Amazing sense of humor.
He didn't do any of the work that we do, but he just was it.
No, he was just so fun to hang out with. He was full of jokes and full of really positive outlook.
Yeah. So anyway, they were missing out on a lot of work trying to find a place to put my grandpa in. And it was right when websites were like starting to be a thing. And I kept saying, well, that's so weird. Like a nursing home should have a website so that people could at least see where they could put their family member, where they offer those services, and then maybe take a day off work. Like it was just a different time. I mean, it wasn't a thing.
And we didn't know anything about websites.
We didn't know anything about it. But we just decided that we could build one. And we thought we would offer it to this one nursing home. And I remember, I was like, I can't do it. And I'm like, I have no business cards. And you're like, just offer it to them. And I'm like, so I basically went in and said, we really don't know what we're doing, but we really believe you should have a website. And we really believe we can figure it out. If you like it, you can pay us. And if you don't, you have nothing to lose. So anyway, they ended up loving it. I don't know how we figured it out, but they ended up loving it. And they paid us $2,500 for this website. And that was the beginning of us, our entrepreneurial journey, essentially. But to be honest with you, we were entrepreneurs still back in college when we first met, because I was cutting hair.
Oh, you're right.
And you and I were
doing
haircuts out of our apartment. Like I was doing the haircut, and you were helping me, get our little area ready. We used to cut them in the kitchen. I used to cut them. So, I mean, we've always had like an entrepreneurial nature.
Absolutely, you're right. Yeah.
So anyway, back to James Wedmore. So we found James and we listened to his podcast
which is amazing.
Amazing. But what we loved most about it is that you and I incorporate metaphysics, like the metaphysical world, into everything we do. It's really big in our family, spirituality and everything. And so we heard James have a podcast called the Woo Woo Podcast.
That's one of the first ones I think we listened to.
Yeah, and we found out that he incorporated many of the things into his lifestyle that we do, crystals and all sorts of stuff. And I actually used
many or all.
Actually. But I actually used my pendulum to decide if we should join BBD. And it was like, literally, it was giving me 100%. Like 100% we're supposed to sign up. So he even started mentioning like Abraham Hicks and everything. So we were just like, this is totally for us. Somebody who can talk about the business and the marketing. And I forgot to say, I didn't segue into the fact that I wanted to say that Alan and I we're making video games with our company, Ultimate Arcade, for 17 years. And things have really shifted for us. We started a new company called Prana Boost, and we needed to learn what everybody was doing, like modern business. So we definitely didn't know everything. We know a lot, but we needed to know modern online business. And so when James came up with how to become a digital CEO, we were like, oh, that's totally for us. Then what sealed the deal was the metaphysical side of it.
Right.
So that's actually what I really wanted to say back then. Anyway, we worked with huge clients like T-Mobile and Disney and Warner Brothers and the Smithsonian and the NBA. Like, we had huge clients. We did really well for ourselves, but we had no idea how to build this new business in this new way. And so we really love the things that James teaches, and we knew that it was time to shift our business and transform into this new paradigm. So the biggest synchronicity of it all was that James is literally like, he lives in Laguna Beach, which is literally like 20 minutes away from where we live. So we were like, oh my God, he's like right in our backyard. Like, this is like meant to be. It's such an amazing thing. So when we found out that we were going to go to BBD Live, or we had an option to go to BBD Live, I went to go sign up and it was sold out. And I was like, well, that's weird. And I was kind of actually totally relieved.
You were.
I was like, yeah, what are we going to do? Who's going to watch the girls? Like,
right.
You and I haven't attended an event together, like, since we became parents, like 15 years ago.
We're not really event people.
No, we're not huge event
up until
people.
that point,
we had not previously been.
Right.
Jim Fortin has,
right.
Has shifted our mind.
Degrees, yeah.
No, typically we were not like huge fans of events, and we were like, what are we going to do with the kids? And it wasn't just the kids. We needed to have somebody who could stay with them, who could watch Angel, because we have a puppy, like, who's going to be able to handle the puppy and everything like that. So originally I was just going to go, and then we were like, no, the new way is that we're doing it together. We have to both go. So we were going to try to figure out how to make that work.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed listening.
Wait. Before you say that, we were not allowed to go. Remember, it was sold out?
Yes.
Then I put my name like on a wait list.
Right.
Then what happened is they wrote me, and they're like, hey, do you want to come? And I was like, babe, what do I do? Now they said we could come.
The universe wants us to go.
Yeah.
It's open.
Yeah. And you were like, yes, we totally have to. And
I got excited because I've been listening to James, and I watched him on his videos. And so I felt like, courses. Oh my God, I totally would love to see this guy in person. And
be around all these people who are doing all these beautiful things. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was a really good choice.
But the first thing that I was telling you? I was like, well, listen, one of the hardest things for you might be waking up really early.
Right.
Because we have our own custom lifestyle. We don't have to wake up early.
Yeah.
And we typically don't. So that was a big thing. But you did amazing.
I did. I kind of conditioned myself for those 3 days, and I knew that there's going to be a large supply of coffee available. And I just, I pushed through it. So
anyway, we asked our best friend, one of our best friends who lives in Palm Springs, Randy, to if he would be available to come stay with the girls and Angel. And so we are so blessed to have a good friend like that. Anyway, something really cool happened. I don't even know how this happened. These are the miracles that like happen and come up. But I was on Instagram and I saw this profile called Peace Unleashed. And so this was Ellie's Instagram profile, and I had seen her in the BBD group for the online course. Anyway, she, maybe it was automated or maybe she really did it, but she sent me kind of like a thank you message, and then I sent her a thank you for thanking me message, and I told her to follow me, and then I said, see you at BBD Live. And I don't even know why I wrote that. And she said she was excited to meet me at BBD Live, and it was like 2 days away, and I was kind of like, are you local or where are you traveling from? And I'm like, we're really close. We're like 15 minutes away from the event. And so she was asking me like where we lived, and we kind of like coordinated that, and we found out that she was staying at a friend's house like right near us.
Which is amazing because people were flying from all over the world.
Yeah, so it was like so ironic that the person I connected with was like literally like right in our backyards. She kind of asked us if we would be willing to carpool with her because we were driving and she was going to get like an Uber. And of course I said yes. So it was like so cool. We ended up like picking her up every morning and driving her back at, afterwards every day, and we got to connect and
she was amazing. She was like a fun friend.
Amazing, like super, super great new friend. So that was just like a huge blessing and miracle. That was just awesome. In fact, somebody at the event saw us together and we had such a great connection. He asked me, he's like, "Are you guys sisters?"
Oh, wow.
And we literally had just met. So that was the beauty of this group.
That was meant to be.
Yeah, group of people. So we really loved, hearing James in person and seeing him and meeting him and his wife, and his team was just so amazing. And you could feel the energy like in the room. It was just like
and the whole event was put together so nicely.
Yeah, it was very beautiful. I mean, the only thing that was like crazy about it was that it was pouring, like raining, like it was nuts. Like it never rains like that here. So I was even like having to take my umbrella to go to the bathroom.
Right.
Where am I? I'm like, this is like the jungle.
And that was funny because someone made a joke. One of the speakers said, "Oh, James planned the rains to keep you guys all inside."
Yeah.
So you wouldn't go to the beach and,
it was crazy. None of us wanted to miss 1 second. It was such a cool event. It was like amazing and cool to be with like-minded people, and amazing to hear how far people came from. But I have to tell you, that's actually the thing. I kind of felt almost like bad about it for a second. This was so hard for us. This was so out of our comfort zone. I had like the girls texting me like, "I miss you, come home." Like they're not used to us being both gone for so long, for so many hours, for so many days in a row. Like we're just always together. And this was really, truly out of our comfort zone. And then I talked to like some moms who came from like London, and they're like, "Yes, I left everybody behind." And I'm like, "Oh my God." I'm like, I feel like, stressed, and mine are like really close by. I can't even imagine what courage it took for them to do that. And
big commitment.
Yeah, it was just amazing. And then one speaker was better than the next. Like we loved Stu, who didn't really want to be known as the membership guy, but he's the membership guy. And then he was amazing, and his wife and everything they're doing with Village Impact. And then Jasmine Starr was amazing. She was so funny and vibrant. I was just like imagining, God, could I be that great on stage like these people? They were just...
Well, they're great role models.
Yeah, they were like so amazing to look up to. And then Manifestation Babe, Catherine, she was just awesome. One of my favorite parts about the Manifestation Babe, when she was up there, we were in the back that day. We're sitting in the back, remember?
Yeah.
The first day we sat in front, and then we sat in the back.
I wanted to be closer to the coffee machine.
Well, he said to move around, and then, I don't know, we just sat in the back, but then we realized it was kind of far. Anyway, it was so cool to watch Catherine's husband. She was newly married, just off her honeymoon, and he was in the back, and the pride on his face, he was, like, so, like, supportive, and he was, like, sending her energy, and he was just so proud of her, like, when she was speaking on stage, and that was just so sweet. It was really cool. It was really cute to watch. Anyway, that's actually another point we wanted to talk about. You and I were like talking, we're like, so should we be like A students and like sit in front, or should we like hide in the back? And I completely was planning on just hiding. Like just hiding in this, just showing up and like observing and like taking in and, but not really like, I wasn't sure if I wanted to participate. It's funny too, because the first day that I got there, I was just like so uncomfortable. I was like, oh my God, there's so many people. I'm like, what are we doing here? And the second day I was like, oh, this is like really cool. We were like so happy and it was going well. And then the third day is when I like felt the best. It was like I was like, yeah, let's do this. Like I started raising my hand. I didn't get chosen. There were so many people, but I was kind of like stepping out of my...
Yeah, you raised your hand a few times.
Yeah, I was raising my hand a bunch of times, but I didn't get called on. But that was okay. I wasn't supposed to. But the funny part about it was like, by the third day, I was having such a good time. I was like, oh, like I'll be here tomorrow. Does anyone want to stay?
Right.
Like I finally was getting comfortable with everyone and just meeting the coolest people ever. So what was like, what helped make it easier for you besides the coffee?
Oh, I absolutely love James's sense of humor. I loved when he was showing the little videos, that kid on the rope going 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
With the helmet yelling, yes, no, that was amazing.
That's how this journey feels. Like, it's so crazy.
That was really funny. And then I loved the Office clip that he showed.
Yeah, that was awesome.
With Steve Carell.
We hadn't seen that in so many years.
Really funny.
It was so cool because it broke it up a little. It disarmed everybody. He knows how to, like, work the crowd and, like set the tone and put people in their own comfort zone. And I think the coolest part, actually... of this is that afterwards I did listen to, I don't think you listened with me, but I listened to James's podcast about what it was like for him leading up to the event, you know, and he's just so authentic and honest, and he shares with you, like, he didn't sleep the night before, he was like nervous, he didn't know what he was going to say. And, you know, I've always wondered, because I have led workshops and I've done stuff, not really a huge speaking on stage, but yet. But I was like, how do these people do it? And what happens to them the night before? And what are they feeling? And what, you know, like, and he really shares all that. So it's
I love that. He always shares.
Yeah, it's like so impressive to find out, like, he's so real and he feels everything too, but he gets up and does it. Like, he works through it. And
I think he said, didn't you say he couldn't sleep the night before?
Yeah.
He slept 3 hours.
Yeah. And Catherine said the same thing. She said, I was like so nervous. And she said that while she was on stage, I think.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'm like, that's okay. You're doing great. Like, you know, I wanted to be her cheerleader, but you know, I guess I would be nervous that somebody, I don't know.
One of the things that I also loved that I want to make sure I mention is being in the same room with like-minded people. That's one thing, but actually feeling the momentum of everybody, and everyone is kind of on the same page, eager to move forward. And I think you can really pick up on that energy, and it helps you in really subtle ways that you don't realize. And it was really cool to see people from all different backgrounds making all these cool achievements. And one guy even started a business right there on day 2. Remember, he started like a membership business.
He was there to support his wife, and he ended up starting a business.
Cool.
Like, I think it's so cool because it just shows that anybody could do it. And I think the thing that a lot of people were mentioning there is that we do kind of feel very alone sometimes, because we're, you know, we don't. There's people, you know, in our circles that don't understand what we do, and they don't understand what it means to be an entrepreneur, especially people who have worked their whole lives, like regular jobs and 9-to-5 schedules and things like that. And, you know, we not only have we always been entrepreneurs, but our kids do not go to school.
Right.
Our kids have never spent a day in school, official school, traditional school. So we're just very used to, like, doing our own thing and living every day as it is. And people are like, yeah, it's the weekend. We're like, every day's the weekend.
Right.
They're like, what are the kids going to do when they're on summer break? I'm like, every day is summer break. Like, so it was cool to see what's possible, you know, and you know, what's next for us, like where we can look forward to. So yeah, it's really cool. And it's also nice to hear that people who are, even that are doing the work and maybe a little bit further ahead on us in the journey, still had very similar concerns and fears, but they were doing it anyway. Like, you know, James teaches a lot on his podcast, which, by the way, has over 2 million downloads. People have similar concerns and similar fears, but they're doing it anyway. And so one of the quotes, it's your favorite quote. You actually wrote it on our wall that we keep sharing with the girls and everything. But what's one of your favorite quotes that James says?
Oh, anything is possible 100% of the time. That's just so powerful. And it just really takes you out of any kind of limitation mindset. I love that.
Yeah. So we've been doing the work. We've been listening to the podcast. We're still doing the online course for those of you who maybe have finished it or not. We have not finished it. We kind of wanted to finish it before BBD, and then before BBD Live, and that didn't work out, but we were just gentle with ourselves and going at our own pace. So we're still working on doing that and rolling out our offers and our first online course. But we're excited. We're excited about what's to come, and we're so excited to have the support that we need most, which is the mindset. Like the mindset and what you think about and what you know, what is possible. Knowing that they are like a model of possibility for us in business. Right.
And it's not just textbook possible or concepts or skill, you know, it's actually seeing people implementing the stuff and on the front lines doing exactly the same thing that we want to do, and it's just so inspiring.
Right, and you see them, I mean, they're teaching and changing the lives of thousands of people, and they're making a ton of money, but they're not doing it just for the money. They're doing it because they actually really care, and they're so like passionate and big-hearted, and it was really beautiful. So that's pretty much our episode for today.
Yeah.
But you know what? No, wait. Sorry. Sorry, I had another thought. I was just going to say, so regarding today, the topic of, you know, getting out of your comfort zone, I just want to say one more thing about that, is that everybody's like, getting out of your comfort zone, that's where all the miracles lie, and that's where everything great is, you know, and you're just like, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's like hard. I mean, it is hard. It's because it doesn't mean you have to do things that are uncomfortable, but change feels uncomfortable. You know, changing something in your life actually produces a chemical imbalance in your brain. And so it is hard. It's hard to figure out what you're going to do and who's going to watch your kids and, you know, how are you going to do it. But But it really was worth it. Like,
yeah, and now I associate, because of James, I associate being uncomfortable and jumping in and being afraid sometimes is the expansion itself.
Yeah.
Just stepping into my new version and updated version of myself.
Yes, creating these new identities for us where we delete the fears and the stories and the limitations that we have put on ourselves, you know. We did it once before. We did it making video games when, you know, we didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
And then we found out that nobody knows what they're doing. Like,
right.
But you just and like Oprah says, what's your very next right step? Like, what's the next step you should take? And part of the thing that stops most of us is we try to see the whole picture. Like, how are we going to all get it done? And then we get overwhelmed. But if you just slow it down and focus, like, what can I do today to get me closer to my goal? And, you know, set an intention. And so... yeah, so, I mean, it's just like we got to do these things that are new for us and out of our comfort zone if we want a new result.
Absolutely. And I'm sure we'll we'll mention James many more times in our future.
Yeah, and we're excited to work with him more and be a part of his community. So we leave you with our Prana Boost Affirmation, which says, I choose to see this differently. I choose to see this with love. So you can learn more about Prana Boosting at pranaboost.com. And we know your time is super valuable. We thank you, and we so much appreciate you listening to us talk and connect and on our podcast. We also invite you to join our Facebook group called Prana Boost, which is facebook.com/groups/Prana Boosting. Here you can learn more, ask questions, stay connected with us and other Prana Boosters worldwide. Learn about everything new that we're doing, online courses, books, products, services, and eventually events. And connect with us. Like, we do these Q&A episodes now, and if somebody has questions, we would be happy to
please ask them to the Facebook group.
Yeah, and so if any of you listening actually attended BBD Live, you know, reach out to us and let us know, you know, what your experience was like. That would be awesome to hear. So
beautiful.
Okay, I love you. I'm proud of us.
I love you too. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for your support.
Bye.
Until next time. Bye-bye.